So today we're going to play out the career of the #1 overall pick in the MLB draft, Paul Skenes. The former LSU pitcher went to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it'll be interesting to see how his rise to the major leagues progresses over the next couple of years. Do the Pirates fast track him? Do they kind of take their time and see what they can get maybe at the trade deadline to see what their future entails? But overall, I really like the pick for the Pirates. So today, let's see how his career plays out. And here we go in MLB The Show. Paul Skenes, 69 overall, nice, and at 20 years old, 6'6", the guy looks pretty solid. Again, this is the roster that I'm using for MLB The Show currently with the new picks that have come out in the game. Obviously, with the trade deadline right around the corner, I could potentially be looking for a new roster. So for right now, if you're looking to start a franchise, that was the one that I use for franchise. So today's video is sponsored by our friends over at Factor. And with it being summertime, I know most of you would like to be outside enjoying the weather and not stuck in a warm, stuffy kitchen with cooking, cleaning, prepping, and all that stuff. So Factor's got you covered with their fresh, never frozen meals that are ready to go in just 2 minutes, so you can get back to doing the things that you enjoy. Or maybe you're just looking for some more calorie conscious options, staying up with that summer bod. And Factor again has you covered there with their delicious dietitian approved meals that fit a variety of different lifestyles. Their meals include keto, protein plus, calorie smart, and vegan and veggie. The chef's choice is just their recommendation for the week. And to fit each of those different lifestyles, Factor has over 34 weekly options where each option has its lifestyle listed below. So you've got the calorie smart, you've got the protein plus, you have the keto, and again, I mentioned over 34 weekly options. And on top of those options, they also do have some add-ons like breakfast. You've got some scrambled eggs, some egg bites, pancakes. You can add on some smoothies, and they've also got some tasty treats like some cheesecake bites along with some cinnamon roll fat bombs, which, ooh, those sound great. With Factor, it's super easy. You just pick your plan, they deliver it to your door, you stick them in the fridge, and whenever you're ready, you pop them out of the fridge, pop them in the microwave for 2 minutes, and you're ready to go. So if all that sounds fantastic, head over to factor75.com or the link in the description below and use code ANT50 at checkout for 50% off your first Factor box. Again, that's factor75.com and use code ANT50 at checkout for 50% off your first Factor box. Paul Skenes is going to start his career in Single A, potentially could end up in Triple A by the end of the season. Who knows? But as long I'm gonna make sure he isn't in the majors at least for the 2023 season, because that's just not realistic. Season's over and Paul Skenes ended up in Double A. And like I said, I did keep him in the minor leagues. And so basically what I did was I just kept him at Single A and Double A for the entire season. And as you can see, he's up to a 73 overall, which is pretty impressive. Good per 9 growth this year. A little fielding as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he continues to move up the ranks. So in season 2, Paul Skenes has made his debut and he's currently a 77 overall, and you can see there are some numbers that are going up, especially in the per 9s. But when you take a look at his stats so far, in 7 games started, he's got a 2-3 record with an ERA above 4, which is not what you want to see. But I think the big concern is we got to get those walks per 9 up a little bit. If we can get that up, we can get the control up a little bit, I think we'll start to see the best of Paul Skenes. So 1.5 whip, like I said, I think 14 walks is going to be an issue. We gotta lower that. 7 home runs is quite a bit too. So we're gonna have to see how things go. But 77 overall, first stint so far in the majors, and as you can see, the season is not fully over. So let's get to the end of the year and see how we're looking. So the Pirates, not a good team. Didn't mean to go to the lineup, went to the pitching rotation instead. So ended up with 1 more start on the year and the ERA went up a little bit more. So not ideal, not the best of first experiences in the major leagues, but at the same time, when you look at this Pirate team, he's probably not getting a lot of, actually, they've got Cody Bellinger, Henry Davis, Sal Frelick, okay, or Frelick, Endy. You've got Cody Bellinger, O'Neal Cruz, Brian. It's not a bad team. It's not a bad team at all. And then when you look at the pitching, Mitch Keller, Bryant Liriano, who's this? Oh, generational pitcher. So we've got some pitchers to look out for. We're gonna have to compare them and see how they do throughout the year. I doubt he's gonna have an award. I don't even think he'll be in the race for the Rookie of the Year. I definitely went the wrong way. And as you can see, definitely not in the race for Rookie of the Year. So overall, small sample size, but let's see how season our first official season in the majors goes. First full season in the books for Paul Skenes, and interesting. So he's up to an 81, but after 32 starts, a 12-14 record, and 164 innings pitched, it wasn't great. A 5.1 ERA, a 1.5 WHIP, and again, 81 walks. That's an issue. 26 home runs. We got to get those numbers down for sure. Like, that's just something you don't want to see. You know, the WAR's at 1.2. Like, he's striking out 9, which you maybe like to have that up a little bit. Yeah, but the walk numbers, it's still a little too high. We gotta get that down. And we take a look at the attributes, you can definitely see, you know, the hits per 9, the Ks per 9, they're in a really solid spot. It's just the walks, the home run, it's per 9, and also the control, little bit of an issue. Again, the team doesn't look too bad. Like, pitching rotation looks solid, bullpen again looks solid, and then offensively, it looks decent. Like, it looks like it's going to score some runs. And if we take a look at it, the Pirates were 82 and 88 games out in the Central, and just missed out on the wild card. So he should be getting the run support that he needs. He's just got to limit the runs, the home runs, and the walks, and we should start seeing the best from Paul Skenes. Obviously, no Rookie of the Year, no Gold Glove, not going to be a Silver Slugger, so no awards there. In the second full season, the Pirates definitely took a step back, going down from 80 wins, 80 wins down to 66. So let's take a look and see what's going on. So overall, pitching doesn't look great to start, and Paul Skenes is following the trend. Johan Oviedo looks pretty good, but he only pitched in 30 innings. Everybody had over a 4.5 ERA, so not ideal. So you can see just not off to a hot start. And so I looked at the coach, or the pitching coach. I hired a new pitching coach to see if that was an issue, so maybe we could see some better results. I'm going to focus on training a little bit more to focus on that per 9 and control, and we're going to see if we get some better results moving forward, because as you can see, walks are still an issue, home runs are still an issue, also hits realistically, even though his hits per 9 went down 3. Good lord, that is not what you want to see. Home runs per 9 didn't go up at all. Yeah, we definitely need to get those hits per 9 up, home runs per 9 up, and get them back on track. Not the best of seasons for Paul Skenes. Let's get to the next year. Season 3 has the Pirates in the postseason at 91 and 71. And like I said, I made some changes to the team. I can't show you the coach that I got, but I think we might have something good. So no Gold Glove or Cy Young or anything. But we have a little bit of a turnaround. Paul Skenes, or maybe like a breakthrough. Look at that per 9 control, clutch, all of it, all of the growth that he showed this year, up to an 86 overall, still only 24 years old too. So Pirates kind of fast tracked them, but 13 and 10 on the year, 180 innings pitched. The hits per 9 still, or the hits allowed, still a little bit higher, but the runs went down. Home runs still kind of in the same range, but the walks went down dramatically, which is awesome to see. ERA at 3.69, WHIP at a 1.4, which is still a little bit high, but not too bad. 2.1 WAR, and as you can see, the Ks per 9 went down a little bit, but walks went down per 9 by quite a bit, which is awesome. Same thing with the home runs. Home runs went down a little bit too. So as you can see, we're seeing some growth. We're seeing some improvements, which is awesome. So like I said, I got a really good pitching coach. I focused the training on him a little bit more, just because I feel like pitchers are a little bit more, they're just a little trickier for career sim. So I want to make sure we get them on the straight and narrow. We get them on the good track. So let's get to the next year. All right, so I forgot about the postseason. They did win the wild card. As you can see, they beat the Phillies, but then they got knocked out in the next round, so it didn't really matter. But I would have been paying attention if they made it to the World Series. So St. Louis is in the World Series. Who's going to win? The Cardinals win it anyways. Or no, the Cardinals did not win. The Rangers win. And let me show you the coach I got, just so you can kind of get an idea of what we're working with pitching wise. So stamina -3, but the hits, the walks, and the home runs are all at least +2. This is like exactly what Paul Skenes needed. And as we sim through this, realistically, I don't think coaches really do too much in the grand scheme of things. I know they help out in terms of regression a little bit, but I know like long term, you just need good performances in MLB The Show to really help with player development. So we'll see how it goes moving forward. We're still only in season 3, and he's still only like 24 years old. Postseason appearances for the Pirates, taking on the Mets this time. Again, no awards. Come on, we gotta see Paul Skenes in the race. I'm trying to see what team we're rocking with here. So Leody Taveras has joined. Reynolds, O'Neal Cruz, Todd O'Keefe. Okay, so they've had some really good drafts. O'Keefe, they got the pitcher. That's a generational talent. Tamar Johnson's got called up. They made the trade there. Yeah, this team looks really good. Okay, let's take a look at the pitching. I mean, 96 overall for Bryant Liriano. You got Paul Skenes in the 2 spot. Did have a 4 ERA, 1.3 whip though. Okay, so the lowest whip of his career, still finished at 14-6. Most innings pitched in his career. Hits per 9 still a little high. Not gonna, or the hits, I should say, not the hits per 9. Hits still a little high. Runs at 88. Earned runs went up back to 84. Home runs still a little bit high, but they are dropping, and the walks are dropping. But 209 strikeouts too. So some good, some bad. 15 quality starts on the season and a WAR at 3.8. But as you can see, like, his per 9 numbers are like slowly improving. The Ks, the walks, the home runs, and the FIP at 3.3 lets me know that, you know, he is getting a little bit unlucky with the ERA. So overall, everything's looking pretty solid. I need that hits per 9 to go up though. I really do. So that's tough. I need it to go up. It's the one thing that's kind of holding him back. If we can limit those hits, he'd be a really good pitcher. So let's keep moving forward as we move into the postseason, and they win, moving into the next series against the Cardinals, and they advance to take on the Braves in the NLCS. Can they pull out a W here, go to the World Series, 1 game away from elimination? Braves are just too good. Full season, let's take a look, because the Pirates as a team looking pretty solid, but let's see here. League leaders, nothing about Paul Skenes. What about an award? Probably not, if we know league leading categories, right? I feel like you've got to be up there. 93 overall is promising, but man, the whip and the ERA, man, they just won't go up. We do have some growth for hits per 9, which is awesome. Home runs per 9 as well, but still, I feel like we're lacking a little something. So overall, not too bad though. Still 180 innings pitched, 200 hits though. We got to get that down. Runs, his second highest of his career high for hits allowed. Earned runs still around the same spot. Back up in terms of home runs allowed, but the walks we're getting those down, and the strikeout numbers are going up. We gotta get that ERA back to like this 3.6 region. Same thing with the whip. Let's take a look at his FIP. He is around like his FIP is lower, so we gotta see some better production here. We gotta see some better production for sure. So not having the best of the careers so far. Like a 4.5 ERA, it's not terrible. 1.4 WHIP, it's not terrible, but you want better. You definitely want better. So let's keep moving forward. So postseason time, taking on the Giants, and they move on to take on the Diamondbacks now. Let's see how we do. Hanging on. Paul Skenes keeps them in it, and they end up losing, so they fall short of a World Series once again. So sadly, 5 seasons done. Haven't really seen the best of Paul Skenes yet, and we've got 1 year before his contract year. And I feel like if they don't see something really good, Paul Skenes might walk. Contract year. Let's see how Paul Skenes does. So 2030. League leaders, leads the league in strikeouts. That's always good. Usually if you have a lot of strikeouts, it's better for the Cy Young race, but we have to see. We don't have an award though, so I'm assuming no, he finished third. He finished third in the Cy Young race. The ERA probably didn't help the wins and losses, because like the Cy Young and MLB The Show, they kind of focus on like those 3 stats right there. And if you have like a good combination of those 3 stats, you're set. Up to a 96. It's not bad. Not bad. I doubt he's winning a Gold Glove out there and on the mound. No. All right. So not bad. Not bad. He did lead the league in strikeouts, but up to a 96. Stamina didn't go up, which is a little unfortunate. Maybe I start training his stamina, because like per 9s are growing pretty well. I mean, 5 for hits per 9, 3 for walks per 9, 4 for Ks per 9. And when you look at his year, 15 and 13 is not bad. Almost 200 innings. Like, yeah, wins and losses. I'm not really too worried about wins and losses now. I feel like if we can get good ERA numbers, good whip numbers, a good WAR, I feel like we've got a good career going on. Like, wins and losses are so just kind of, it's so team based with pitchers. I mean, look at Jacob deGrom and the Mets. It's like if he pitches, he gets 1 run max. That's what you get. You got to work with it. So Paul Skenes, you can see, you know, hits are down. Hits are down. Runs were down compared to last season. Home runs are still kind of sitting near the 30 mark. And then the walks. Is this a career low for walks? It is. because 2024 he only pitched like seven outings, so, or pitched at 7 games, started 7 games. So ERA is good, whip's pretty solid, 20 quality starts, which is pretty impressive. 20 of his 33 games started were quality starts. That's what you want to see, a 4.2 WAR, and his FIP's at a 3.27, so kind of around where he is ERA wise as well. So numbers are going up. The Ks per 9 is looking nice. 96 overall, finished 3rd in the Cy Young race. And again, this is contract year, so let's see what happens in the postseason. They're eliminated right off the rip. So now, will he stay with Pittsburgh, or is he going somewhere else as the Red Sox win a World Series over the Reds? So it's time. Will they offer him a new contract? Do they do that? They do not. They also don't offer their generational pitcher. They have 2 top pitchers in the league, and they didn't offer either of them a contract. The offseason's over, and I didn't get a notification for Paul Skenes, which I thought was weird because he was one of the highest rated players in the offseason. And Brian Liriano does re-sign with the Pirates, and looking at their pitching staff, it looks juiced. It looks so good. Holy cow. They're ranked 2nd for pitching, which says a lot. And I mean, their offense is starting to come together as well. But now Paul Skenes is not here, so we got to figure out where he went, because obviously he's not with the Pirates. So now the Angels on a 7-year deal, and it looks like a max deal, backloaded. He's with the Angels. So the Angels currently, they're interesting because like you see Ohtani, obviously at 36, he's going to be regressing pretty quickly. Also a contract here. Okay, so they're going to have some money opening up, but the rotation as a whole looks pretty weak. And then the bullpen looks okay. I think the bullpen's pretty solid. Let's take a look at the lineup, see what we've got going on here. What do they have? Elly De La Cruz. They've got Endy, they've got Ohtani, their 1st round pick in real life this year, Nolan Shanuel, I think it is. They've got PCA. They've got a mix of like good and bad, and the bench looks okay too. So I feel like there could be something good happening. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's sim the first year. First year in the AL with the Angels, we got an all-star appearance. So yeah, and he's actually having a pretty disgusting year. Andrew Abbott though, also having a crazy year. Same thing with Ricky Tiedemann. There's some pretty good pitchers. On the other side, same thing, a lot of 2 ERAs. So maybe, just maybe, Paul Skenes might be hitting some of those prime years. Season complete with the Angels. Obviously, these awards aren't for us, but watch, now the Pirates are going to be absolutely disgusting. But I'm here for the other side, the AL. Paul Skenes, Cy Young winner, 2031, had an absolutely insane season. Stamina going down is unfortunate. Hopefully that isn't a trend that's going to continue, but 99 overall, absolutely insane per 9s. And then looking at his year, 17 and 11 on the year, 205 innings pitched, 179 hits, which is the 2nd best he's had in his career. Runs are definitely career best, which is awesome. Home runs tied for a career best, and then walks definitely a career best at 46. So 250, I mean, just a career year. This is definitely a career year. Whip at 1.1, 22 quality starts, so even better than the year before. Did he get his first complete game? Yeah. Okay. 5.9 WAR, and then a FIP at 2.7. So he actually was still about the same. Okay, yeah. I mean, Skenes that was a crazy season. See, like career-wise, ERA is still slightly above 4, so we're gonna need a couple more years like this. Get it under 4, get it into the 3s, get it more towards like a 1.2 WHIP, and I think we'll definitely be on our way for a pretty solid career. So far so good. That was a pretty good season. The Angels are not in the postseason. Based on that team, I kind of figured, wow, they were towards the bottom. Ooh, ugh. All right, let's get to the next year. 2032 is over. The Angels do make the postseason this time, which is good to see. Love to see that. And then if we take a look really quickly at like the American League for WAR, he's up there at 7th, which is okay. I'm kind of having a feeling that like it wasn't as good as last year, and not seeing him this high up is a little worrying. 3.9, so still better than the career average of 4 that he has, as Bryant Liriano, 3rd in MVP, also wins a Cy Young, back-to-back Cy Youngs, and there is no Paul Skenes in sight. So we saw that he had a 3-1, which like, again, isn't a terrible thing, you know, especially when he's pitching 200-ish innings. But let's take a look here. So the walks went back up and the runs went back up, so that definitely makes sense. So we might just be seeing kind of like what his like career average might be. It might just be a high 3, with like a 1.2 high, like 1.28-ish whip. It just really depends on how he does for the next couple years. Still 99. Couple things are starting to regress a little bit. I'm not too worried about like complete regression just yet. Sometimes pitchers do have a little bit longer prime / careers, but as you can see, like 3.1 WAR, kind of the lowest for a couple seasons. I mean, he's still putting up really good numbers. It's just not as good as a 2.8 ERA, right? Even if we can get like the 3.69, you know, we might be looking good. Shout out the Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. But either way, let's see. We've got some postseason action. We got to see where the Angels end up this offseason. Oh, or this postseason, I should say. And they do advance 2-1. Hold on, what just happened there? I need to pause this. And the Angels are 1 game away from taking on the Pirates. I accidentally just started simming like the whole postseason. So here we go. They need 1 game, and they're facing the Pirates. Paul Skenes against Bryant Liriano. I feel like we have to quick manage this one. This one's just too good to pass up. At PNC Park, it's raining, and the team looks interesting for sure. Let's see how it goes. I'm gonna control the Angels just because we're doing like a Paul Skenes video, but let's keep moving forward. Or maybe I should have controlled. Can I switch teams now? Maybe I should have controlled the Pirates. That way I don't interfere with the Angels at all. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. We'll keep it going this way. And so far, quick 1-2-3 inning for Paul Skenes, and the Angels are up 2-0, which okay, 5-0 thanks to an Elly De La Cruz bomb. So far so good. First hit of the game for the Pirates, but it doesn't matter. He gets out of the inning, and things are looking good. I mean, only 1 hit allowed through 3 innings, which is what you want to see, especially in a World Series game to start off the series. Get game 1 done. Put the pressure on the Pirates. It's 6-0. Bryant Liriano's already out of the game. The guy that they chose over Paul Skenes. Crazy. And they're still applying the pressure. Don't get a run in that inning, which is unfortunate, but sack bunt's an interesting choice there. So 2 hits through 6. Paul Skenes is looking pretty good. Couldn't get the run in there, and does a little bit of trouble here. I'm gonna see if we can get out of this. But if another run, like if a run comes in or another base runner reaches, I feel like we should probably go to the bullpen. He gets out of it. And he gets out of it. So 7 shutout. I feel like that's a good start. We're going to leave it there. For Skenes, we're going to do a little pitching change. Go to the setup man, who it looks like it's Hooley or Bachman. I think we're going to go Bachman here. And quick little inning. Yeah, our base runner reached, but doesn't matter. 7-0 now. I think you let Bachman close it out. And that's the game. 7-0. A home run and 3 RBIs for Elly De La Cruz. Yeah, but Paul Skenes held it down with 7 shutout innings. How is he not player of the game? So let's see how it plays out with the rest of the World Series. So they win the next one. It is 3-1. Oh no. Okay, this time we're just going to let it sim. And they lose. Paul Skenes gets the loss. Will the Pirates end up winning? The Pirates win. Paul Skenes' team completely falls apart, having a 2-0 lead. A little reverse sweep action, and wow, that's tough. Paul Skenes, man, you got to do better. Let's see what he finished with on. I mean, that's not a bad postseason at all. That's a pretty good postseason when you've got that guy dropping a 9 ERA, a 13 ERA. Ooh, man, that pitching really let the team down. So 9th year in the majors. Again, no postseason. That's unfortunate. Let's take a look at awards really quick. Vladdy with the Mets is an interesting one, but Riley Green wins MVP. But we're here for the Cy Young, and he's 3rd. Oh man, that's tough. Okay. All right, so stamina's going down, which is unfortunate because I can't train that because he's with a different team now. But innings wise, hits wise, runs. Ooh, like, let me see. Is there another big discrepancy in like runs allowed or like earned runs to runs? Like 6 isn't too bad. So he wasn't getting the best of help from his teammates. But home runs, he's just going to settle around the 20s. But a good number for walks. A career low. Strikeouts 216. And again, this is what we're looking for. 3.6 ERA we can work with. 1.2 whip, we can work with that. That's what we're looking for. like I said, if we can settle around, 3.6, 1.2, that's a solid career. And he's already been in the majors for 9 seasons. The ERA is almost there. We need like one or two really good seasons, and we can get it under a 4. But another really good WAR season in 4.7. So he's putting up some really good seasons, really, really good seasons. We just need I want some excellent seasons, but sadly, no Cy Young. He's been in the top 3 a couple times. He's won 1. We got 1 more season to sim before we finish out his career. Let's see if we can at least maybe get him another World Series appearance at least. 10th season and no postseason. All right. Oh, I almost sim forward. All right, let's take a look. Dylan Cruz. Okay, former National. Did he leave immediately? He didn't make his. So he made his debut and then went to Milwaukee after not playing a couple of years. Then ended up with the Dodgers. Interesting indeed. Riley Green back-to-back MVPs, but we're here for the one and only Paul Skenes, and he's not there. This Greg Montalvo guy's kind of good, huh? All right, let's take a look. 10th season, we've got to have an idea. I mean, again, not a bad year. I mean, strikeout numbers compared to innings pitched is pretty impressive, but like I feel like we've kind of seen what we're gonna get from Paul Skenes, right? Like high 3 ERA, around a 1.3 whip. That's kind of what we've seen. Had a rough stretch here, that 4.7, and these 5s kind of ruined everything. Maybe he was rushed just a little bit, but I think when you take a look at like everything else, if you take away these 5s, you're definitely under 4, right? Like these 2 seasons when he was like what, 21, 22, because like he was put in like immediately, right? Like he had 1 season in the minor leagues in 2023, or actually technically 2024, because 2023 is the year he got drafted. So 2024 already got thrown into the majors. So he was like 21, 22, and then immediately boom, he's thrown into the deep end with a pretty bad team, right? And so like, I mean, even his FIP has always been lower than his ERA too. So like, and like this year, 4.5 that's a big difference from 50 ERA. So like, I'm just saying, I feel like he hasn't been as bad as the stats suggest. I feel like he's been a little bit better. And again, a 5.1 WAR is pretty good. So 34.3 over a 10-year span, pretty decent. To put it in comparison, if you look at what Garrett Cole currently has at 11, I think this is 11 years in the majors. How long has Garrett Cole been in the majors? 11 years in the majors. Garrett Cole currently has a 37.5 WAR. So not too far off. We're like 1 season off of what Garrett Cole has. Fernando Valenzuela at 206 all time is 37.3. So you can kind of see where he's at. In the 34 range, you got like Jared Weaver, Tim Wakefield, great name, Schoolboy Rowe, clearly was a great pitcher. Corey Kluber sits at a 34 WAR. So you can kind of get an idea of where we're at. Like Jacob deGrom currently has a 41.9. Adam Wainwright has a 41.3. So like, we're not too far off some of like the good pitchers that are currently going in real life right now. So yeah, the ERA and everything looks a little rough, but WAR wise, he's been solid. Strikeout numbers at 2,000, pretty impressive, right? Like averaging 200 in a season, like that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So yeah, the wins and losses may not be there. The ERA may be a little bit inflated, but I feel like after 10 seasons, still pretty impressive. He's got a couple more years left with the Angels, but I'll see you guys at the end of his career. 2042, Paul Skenes finally retires because of age. As you can see, he's 40 years old. Ended up playing in the majors for 16 years, which is pretty impressive. And as you can see the stats, stamina became a huge issue. And in the year 2037 is when kind of regression really started to hit. And that's when stamina really started to tank. And that's when it kind of just, all the wheels fell off. And as you can see, this was like kind of his last year. This was like when the regression started to hit. And as you can see, he had a 3.4 ERA with a 1.2 whip. So it was a really good season. And then after that, it just fell apart. 4.4 ERA, 4.9 ERA, and then a 5.4 ERA, which this 5.4 ERA ended up getting him over that 4 ERA for his entire career, which is super disappointing because before like these last 3 seasons, he was actually at a really good spot. He was at a 3 ERA. His whip was pretty healthy. And you can even see in 2035, he had a 2.79 ERA with a 1.15 whip, which was another Cy Young year. So in the end, he ended up finishing with 2 Cy Youngs and 3 All-Star games. So it was only like 1 extra Cy Young compared to what we were doing when we were looking through the first 10 years of his career. But for career totals, I mean, he did come close to 200 wins, just shy of it at 193. He pitched almost 3,000 innings and just over a 4 ERA with the 1.3 whip. Like I said, I feel like he definitely performed a lot better than what his stats show. Like, I feel like he definitely was a lot better than what ended up happening. So 54.8 WAR is still pretty solid. And if you look at his FIP for his career at 3.62, like, it is just way better than the ERA of a 4. And if you're looking for pitchers around this kind of range for WAR, Cole Hamels with 58, you have Frank Tanana with 57, Dave Stieb with 56.5. Who else? I'm looking at the list right here. Sandy Koufax with 53. You have Oral Hershiser with 51, Johan Santana with 51. So, like, he's kind of in that range for career numbers. And if you're looking at all-time strikeouts, we'll pull this up really quickly. He ended up finishing with, where are they? 3290, which is a crazy amount of strikeouts compared to like what people are doing now. Because like Max Scherzer right now has 3,300, and 3,290 actually puts him just above Justin Verlander, who has 3,274. So he's currently 13th all time in strikeout numbers. And I know strikeouts aren't really indicative of how good you are as a pitcher, but you can kind of see like he was putting in some pretty solid work. And on top of that, the WAR, pretty solid for a career. And also, I think when you look at his FIP being way better than his ERA, I feel like you kind of get an idea of he was definitely better than what actually is showing. So let's take a look. Is he a Hall of Famer? No, sadly. But that's the Paul Skenes career sim. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed the content. And of course, in the comment section, let me know what video you want to see next. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.